flown 28 combat missions in 3 tours. But none of that scared me half as much as what I saw in that bunker.
The Lair, the new creature feature science fiction movie from director Neil Marshall that just popped up on Shudder. And it's also on DVD, I believe. I think I saw it in a Walmart, strangely enough. Neil Marshall, though, that's a name that you should recognize, as he's been incredibly prolific in the directing game for years now, with admittedly middling results. His best movie is arguably 2005's The Descent or 2002's Dog Soldiers. In more recent times, though, his works haven't really been all that great, including 2019's Hellboy reboot, which failed on his feet, and his 2020 indie project The Reckoning, which, I really didn't like that one. Full of anachronisms that made absolutely no sense, and an absurdly boring story. 3 out of 10 for that one. Do not watch. It is bad. The Lair is his follow-up to The Reckoning and stars his fiancée Charlotte Kirk in the lead role as a British Air Force pilot named Kate Sinclair. Kirk was also the lead in The Reckoning, so I was a bit hesitant to jump into this. It very much gives me Mila Jovovich vibes, you know, the star of the action movies like Resident Evil, just because the director was her husband. It's weird. Odd type of nepotism, I guess. Anyway, The Lair follows Kate as she is shot down in Afghanistan in 2017. She finds refuge in a lost, abandoned Soviet bunker where she discovers a horde of mutant alien and human hybrid monsters and must team up with an American Special Forces group to eliminate the threat. And oh yeah, it is bad. Not as abhorrently terrible as The Reckoning. I had a few good chuckles here or there, even if the story is an absolutely cliched mess of tropes and obvious nonsensical kills. There are so many times in this movie where I shouted at characters on screen like, "You have a gun! Why aren't you using it?" Like, for real. Characters who showed absolutely no hesitation prior, a minute later will suddenly be shocked motionless when an identical monster jumps out at them. It makes no sense.
That was some fucked up shit.
Other characters make incredibly stupid and out-of-character sacrifices. Very light spoiler, for example, but one character about midway through the movie decides to use a grenade on one monster, and instead of, say, feeding the monster the grenade or shoving it into an orifice or whatever, just hops on top of them and explodes with them. It is beyond dumb and makes absolutely no sense given the character's motivations at the time. I guess it looked a little cool, but wow, that was a spectacularly stupid decision. And there are just tons and tons of decisions like this and character choices that make no sense, leading to senseless death fodder and dumb scenes or just things to keep the movie going. Oh, it's so stupid. So very stupid. The effects are also extremely hit or miss. I haven't seen a film fail so spectacularly in a long time, but somehow it still has a good effect here or there. Like, for example, most of the gunfire and explosions in this are all After Effects and stock image. Pretty much every single one. It looks obvious, it looks awful, none of the gunshots look real, but the monster suits are practical, and every now and then there's some amazing makeup design for gore or a death. Like early on, a dude gets his face ripped off, and that looks amazing. Like superb stuff, but mixed in with all the other effects, it just kind of feels weird. Like, why was that so good, but stock images are used for everything else? Did all the money go to the creature costume or costumes? I'm pretty sure they just had one costume that they just reused for all of the monsters, but I'm not sure. Maybe they had up to like 3? I don't know, but wow, is it inconsistent. This movie is just full of inconsistencies. Another one is the audio. Oh my god, who the hell mixed this? It is a mess. Everyone aside from Kate sounds like obvious ADR. The sound effects are odd. There's a moment where they use a super loud Wilhelm scream out of nowhere, and the characters dramatically go, "What was that?" Wow, that's bad. That's really bad. The acting is fine, I guess, for what the actors are given. They're at least trying. Nothing is terrible, which honestly is odd. Charlotte Kirk is so much better than she was in The Reckoning, but again, that's not really saying much given how bad that movie is. What is odd though, going into this, Charlotte Kirk actually has a pretty decent catalog of side characters in rather big movies, her last one being a character in 2018's Ocean's 8. Unfortunately, she has a ton of controversy from 2020, which might explain why Neil Marshall backed out to do his own projects after Hellboy. I was very surprised to find this when doing my research, but in 2020, Kirk was accused of extortion by the former vice chair of NBC, Rob Meyer, following his ousting after word of a 2012 affair with Kirk came out. Similarly, the CEO of Warner Bros. Was ousted in 2019 for a 2013 affair where text messages showed up suggesting that Kirk was sleeping with these higher-ups in order to get roles in movies, and absolutely got some. I'm not going to cast blame or anything on Miss Kirk, as clearly she's been through a lot and was abused by these people in power, but wow, I was not expecting any of this when I was doing research. This is a lot. I don't really know what to do with a lot of this information, but I feel it is imperative that I at least talk about it so the information's out there and there's more of an explanation as to what's going on with Neil Marshall and Charlotte Kirk here, because wow, #MeToo. Now, Kirk and Marshall seem to be doing pretty well for themselves and working on passion projects now, so good for them, I suppose, but that ultimately does not excuse this mess of a movie. Marshall seems like a fine dude with some neat ideas, but he needs a better writer or writers, cause wow, dude, just no. He needs way more budgets. He needs some more unique ideas for shots. This is a very, very standardly shot movie. There's nothing wild or particularly creative in the cinematography, but it's at least there. It's decent. There's nothing bad aside from everything else, but still. As it is, this is another incredibly middling film for his repertoire that is as cheesy as it is stupid. And I guess that makes it fun for a little bit. I did laugh a few times at just how ridiculous everything was, but I don't recommend this movie at all, except for maybe a quick laugh for yourself or background noise. I really don't think it's good enough to watch the entire thing. It's available on Shudder though if you are interested, and DVD, and maybe a couple of other streaming services if you do want to watch it. The Lair ultimately gets a 4 out of 10 from me.
That was some fucked up shit.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one of these. Oh my god. I've seen the 2 best movies from Neil Marshall, The Descent and Dog Soldiers. Great films, a lot of fun, very cheesy still. He's got a lot of cheese to his name. But I don't know about this. By all means, do your passion projects, but I feel like he needs a lot more money to be able to get these things out like he wants. And this was just a bad idea for a story anyway. It sounds so cliched, so middle of the road just to start with, and it never really goes anywhere from there. It picks its lane with what it wants to do and it stays in it, and I can commend Marshall for that, but you need to do something more, dude. This is, honestly, it's just kind of okay. I feel like I'm probably going to forget about it in a couple of weeks, but I don't know. It's weird. I like passion projects, but you need to put some more work into it. Maybe, I do think he might be better with some more budget under his belt, because those stock images and everything, oh, they look bad. The ADR, the audio mixing, just a mess. Needs so much more fixing. I don't know if they just ran out of budget because they spent too much on the practical monster suits, which props to those people. Practical monster suits all the way. If you can go practical, go practical. It always looks better. Almost. Everything else, this really needs to work on it. And I don't know if this is, Paul Wes Anderson stuff, but stop making movies just for your wife to be in them. It's very, very weird nepotism. But it seems more like a couple's project for them, so I guess that's okay. It's not like a huge budget, a huge action movie. It's not a big franchise like Resident Evil. So I think it's kind of fine for them to do that, whatever they need to. I think that's fine. I don't know. I really don't get it. What do you guys think? Do you think this is a movie that's so bad it's good, it's enjoyable to laugh at? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell so you never miss a video. And that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo, the fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost summer. And I'm just a ghost in your stereo.